Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at HBAR. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to talk about two options here. We are looking at the potential of either this moving to the upside in a bigger ABC pattern, where this is our A wave, this is our B wave, and we're looking for a 5-wave move in a C wave. Now we also do have a potential that we could still see a move to the upside in a corrective manner, where we're looking for this as a Y wave to the upside. Target for this would be between this 121 and this 1382 most commonly, but I will still be keeping an eye on this idea of a move up towards this 1618 level if we are going to see an interaction with this previous high. Now we also need to be careful here because there is still potential here that we could be looking for a 5th wave to the downside, in which case our target area would be this 0285 to this 0194. Now, because of the reason that we have this potential of this 5th wave, what I'm just looking out for and being mindful of is that we could still see something like this play out to the downside, where effectively we have this as a 3-wave move as a diagonal wave 1. We're looking for a wave 2, and then we're going to be looking for another 3-wave move down for a wave 3. So if we fail to actually take this high, we need to be cautious of this idea that we could still see this grind down in 3-wave structure, which could look to bring us down below our previous low that we've got here at this 0356. So I'm going to be watching this for as long as we actually stay below this 0813 area. Now we're going to go into those bullish counts first, and then we're going to discuss what could happen within those other counts. Now, if we are looking at this idea of this bigger ABC pattern to the upside, what we want to see is 5-wave structure. Now, what we were talking about in the previous video is that we could see this in a few ways. Now, we were saying that potentially we could look at this as wave 1. Could look at this as an A wave. We're looking for a B wave into this high, and then looking for that potential of a C wave. Now, it is possible we could argue that we have this as a running flat here, in which case we would be looking to extend directly up from here. Alternatively, what we can say here is that this whole move has actually become a B wave, and we could still see a violent push to the downside, looking to bring us back down into this area of this 0485 to this 0434. If we start to lose this 0434, however, this would make this idea of this continuation up less likely. Now, if we are looking at this as a B wave, the most common rejection area is going to be between the 0651 to this 0590 area. So we have come up into this zone. What I want to be just aware of here is that if we fail to break back above this high, what I would be then looking for is that possibility of this to develop as a C wave down. Now, what we'd be looking for here would be a 5-wave move to the downside, looking to bring us down into this target box of this 0465 to this 0421. So if we're looking at this idea, effectively we're saying that, you know, this is going to be our rejection area, and then we're going to see this move look to push down in 5 waves. Now, the other way we can look at this move is actually saying that we potentially have an extension here, where we count this as wave 1, 2, this is another 1, 2, and effectively what we'd then be looking for would be this white wave count here. Now, within this white wave count, what we are looking for confirmation is a move up towards this 0822. Until we actually see this move up here, we need to be careful that this could just be corrective structure. And what I would like to see ideally here is that this move here is either a wave 1, and we're going to see a wave 2 as a diagonal. So we're saying that effectively what we have here is that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal pattern. And what we're going to see here is a bigger 3-wave move to the downside, looking to potentially target out this area here of this 50% to the 786. Now, if this is going to be a shallower retracement, we could actually see this come back down to this 382 at this 0583. Now, if we are looking at this as 1212, we need to be careful because there is always a potential that instead of counting this as 1 into here as a zigzag, what we could actually have is that we have a 1 2 1 2, and then we form something like this as another 1 2 here, and then we look to progress directly up here in a bigger 5-wave sequence. So if we're looking at something like that, then I would be looking at the purple count over here, and what we'd be saying is that if this is 1 and 2, we could look to actually find support lower down here between this 50% and the 786 if we do see a retracement. This would also align with this count here, except what this would be saying is that we'd be looking for a quick retracement down here, and then looking to push up in a bigger impulse. And what this would mean is that within this structure here, we're starting to extend. If we did see a move down towards this 0.618, which is sitting here at the 0579, what we'd then be looking for would be that continuation to the upside in more 5-wave structure, looking to hit this zone of this 0745. if we start to see something like this where the waves are actually extending out here, then it becomes very probable that we're going to hit this 0822 region. And what we'd then be looking for is confirmation that this move completes, and then looking for this additional fourth wave, and then we'd get another fourth and a fifth to the upside. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this, even if we do start to see a retracement deeper down here, where we look to push down into this zone here of this 530 to this 0583. What we could do, as long as we hold the 786 area, is look for that continuation to the upside again, looking to potentially extend up here. Now we could also argue that this move could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we could actually just have a contracting diagonal pattern here, in which case what we could then see is a bigger sell-off. So this would still be a bullish structure as long as we hold these lows here of this 0399, and what we'd be looking for is 3 waves to the downside. If we see this develop as 1, 2, and we start to see a rejection of these highs, and we start to see bigger 3-wave structure pushing us back down, potentially into this zone of this 50% at this 0505. If we're going to challenge this previous wave 4, then we could look for this potential of this continuation up. If we do see this move play out in this way, where this is a diagonal pattern, we could then see another 5-wave move to the upside. Now what we have to be careful of here, if this is just A, B, and C, we could see a push up towards this 0765, and then we could see continuation to the downside after that point. We're going to go over that within the bearish count. But effectively what we'd be looking for would be a 1.618 measurement off of the bottom of this move to the high of the wave 1 to the bottom of the wave 2. If we see something like that and we can measure that off, then we would be looking for that target of this 1618, looking for that confirmation of this wave 3, as this is the most common target area for a wave 3. Now within this idea here, what we'd be saying is that we're going to see a bigger retracement down here, then a bigger push to the upside, looking to push us above these highs, and then looking to potentially complete this ABC structure to the upside, where we would then be looking for this 1-to-1 up here towards this 1080. So if we do see this move push up in this way, we'd have to start to be careful, because unless we actually see a bigger move up here past this 20 cents, we do not have a trending structure. So if we do see this move just push up in 5 waves here, and we fail to achieve this 1618, unless we actually get a retracement back down and hold the low where this becomes 1212, and then we see that third wave starting to play out, then it becomes more probable we're going to see that continuation to the downside. So need to just be aware of this, that this move could look to extend out here, but we need to see whether this bullish structure is going to continue to hold and continue to prove itself, because it is also possible what we could start to see here, especially if we do see a 5-wave move down, is something along these lines where this becomes a W. We get this as a corrective structure down, and then we just see a 3-wave move to the upside. So because we're looking for that Y wave, it is still possible here that we could see something along these lines where we just see this as a bigger W, X, and a Y, and then we look to actually break down from that point. Because if we zoom back out here, we can see that that 1-to-1 is actually sitting here towards a 0716, which would align quite nicely with this idea of this just moving as a corrective pattern to the upside in this way. So if we fail to form that good bullish structure here, we could still see new lows coming in here, particularly if we just start to see corrective structure to the upside. So it's going to be very important what happens next. If we are looking at this corrective pattern, what we'd be saying is from this high here, we'd be expecting 5 waves to the downside, looking to target out this area, typically of this 1236 to this 1618. Now this 1618 area would be very interesting, because it'd be looking to challenge some of these lows here and also bring us back into this golden pocket. So if we do see something like this, effectively we'd be looking for 5 waves down, and then we'd get confirmation that this move is actually a flat by taking this high back up here at this 0638. Until we take this high, if we do start to see 5 waves down, we need to be careful that as long as we fail to push back above the high, we can start to look to extend down. Now if we are looking at the last option that we discussed here of that diagonal, what we need to be cautious of is that even if we see this as potentially a diagonal pattern here, and then we see this move come back down in 3 waves, and we see another 5-wave structure higher up into this target box, what we could then see is this continuation down in the 3rd wave afterwards, if this just becomes ABC. So this is why I'm saying, it's going to be important how this structure starts to develop. As long as we continue to hold these lows, we can potentially look to extend. Even if we do get a deeper retracement here that fails to take these lows, this could become 1 2 3 4 5. Then we'd have this as 1 2, this would all become 3 4 5, and then we'd have another 1 2 3 4 and a 5, looking to push us up through these areas. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for, to see how the waves are actually playing out here, and whether we actually see a rejection within this 0813 to the 0628 level, or whether we're actually going to see this price action look to find support and then look to push up one more time. Having a look at the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that we actually had this nice little push up here, and we actually hit all of our targets the previous day. Now, if we're looking at this area here, what we can see is we have the central lines below us, which is sitting between the 612 to this 0596. Now, if we're going to see price continue to hold this zone, we have the potential to see a move up towards this R1 line here of this 0645. Other targets to the upside for today would be the 0669 to this 710 and this 735. Now, if we, however, we start to see price looking to break down below this level, what I'd be keeping an eye on would be this S1 line here at this 580. If we do manage to hold this, then potentially we could look to see price starting to continue to the upside. If we start to lose this level, what I'd then be looking for as a potential target would be the previous day low here at the 0563, and then lower down here we have targets of the 0539, 0515 and this 474 as potential targets to the downside. Now, having a look at the weekly pivots here, what we can see is that we are actually currently above our central lines. Now, these are going to be potential support zones if we do look to move back to the downside. This is the 569 area to this 551 area. If we do see price come back into these levels, we can potentially look to find support if we're going to see that continuation to the upside. If, however, we look to hold this R1 line, what we could then see is price could actually be gravitated towards a 0655. We have the 712 also as a potential target this week. If we do start to see a bigger rejection to the downside and we lose these central lines, targets to the downside for this week would become this 0522. We have this 465 and this area here of this 427 as potential downside targets for this week. Now, moving over onto the monthly pivots, what we can see here is that we are above these central lines. We've actually taken this target area here of our R1 already. Now, if we do look to move down, we could potentially look to find support here at this 0607. So I'm going to be watching out for that if we do see price looking to move down here in just a smaller three-way move, potentially we could look to find support on this line before looking for continuation to the upside. If we start to lose this level, we could see price coming to retrace down into some of those lower time frame pivot points. Alternatively, if we do continue to see this rally, targets would be this 0693 and we have this 0768 as potential upside targets for this month. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these target levels. If we do move up here into this yellow box area, we do have some alternate targets. We have some daily naked points of control towards the lower end of this, which is sitting towards the zone of the 0644. As well as that, we do have some potential highs in here that I'm going to be keeping an eye on for the potential of swing failing. If we do look to push up higher here, we also do have a monthly naked point of control sitting towards the 0678. And we also do have the potential of looking to test out these areas here of these highs, as well as having this daily naked point of control up here towards the 702. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. If we do see price starting to move back up into these zones, we could potentially look to target out some of these areas. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.